He looked me in the eyes and said, "You're boring now. You have nothing interesting to talk about." This was the same man I gave up everything for: my career, my dreams, my identity. And what I did next, he never saw coming. 5 years ago, I met him at a conference in Chicago. I was 29, thriving in my career, traveling for work, leading a team of 12 people. I was passionate, driven, and honestly, I loved my life. He was charming, kind, supportive. For the first year, it was perfect. He'd call me brilliant, listen to me talk about campaigns and strategy. I felt seen. Then he got a job opportunity 3 hours away. Better pay, better position. He asked me to come with him. "You can find something remote," he said. "We can build a life together." I hesitated. My job wasn't remote. I'd have to quit, start over. But I loved him. So I said yes. I left my job, my team, my friends, my apartment in the city I loved. We moved. Months passed. The job market was limited. I kept getting rejected. He suggested I take a break. "Focus on us," he said. "I'm making enough for both of us." That break turned into 2 years. I became the person who cooked elaborate meals, kept the house spotless, managed errands. I took up hobbies: pottery, gardening, reading. But without my career, I felt like an outsider, looking through a window at my old life. He started coming home later. "Work drinks," he'd say. When I tried to talk about my day, the book I read, the garden I planted, he'd nod absently. "That's nice, babe." Then he started mentioning her. "Sarah, a new colleague. She's so sharp. We grab coffee to brainstorm." The mentions increased. "Sarah said this. Sarah thinks that. Sarah's so ambitious." I started to realize Sarah was everything I used to be. It happened on a Thursday night. He came home late again. I'd made his favorite dinner. It was cold. I asked where he'd been. He sighed like I was a burden. "What's your problem lately? You're so clingy." I snapped. I told him I felt invisible, that I'd given up everything. And then he said it. "Maybe that's because you're boring now. You don't do anything. You have nothing interesting to talk about. Sarah's always got something going on. You're just here?" Boring? The woman who used to lead presentations to executive boards, who traveled to 3 countries in a month. I was boring because I gave all that up for him? I didn't cry in front of him. I waited. Then I sat in the dark and made a decision. I wasn't going to beg him to see my worth. I was going to show him what he lost. But more importantly, I was going to show myself who I still was. The next morning, I started rebuilding. I reached out to my old network, former colleagues, mentors. I was honest. I took time off. I'm ready to come back. I updated my resume, took online courses, joined a local women's business group. I remembered what it felt like to laugh. He barely noticed. He was too busy with Sarah. 3 months later, I got a call. A former colleague needed a director of strategy, remote position, 6 figures. I said yes before she finished the sentence. When I told him, he was stunned. For the first time in 2 years, I saw respect in his eyes, and maybe fear. Everything changed. I had my spark back. I was working on incredible projects, leading a team, making an impact. I was alive. And suddenly, he wanted my attention. He wanted to hear about my day. He stopped mentioning Sarah, but it was too late. 6 months after I started my new job, I told him I wasn't happy, that I hadn't been for a long time. He panicked. "Things are good now. We can make this work." I looked at him and said, "You called me boring because I sacrificed my career to support yours. The moment I became inconvenient, you discarded me. That's not love. I deserve someone who sees me, who values me, who doesn't need me to dim my light to feel bright." We separated 2 months later. And you know what? I'm thriving. I got promoted. I moved to a city I love. I'm dating someone who celebrates my ambition instead of feeling threatened by it. He reached out a few months ago, apologized, said he made a mistake. I wished him well, and I meant it because I'm not angry anymore. I'm grateful. He taught me the most important lesson. Never give up who you are for someone who doesn't see your worth. If you're in a relationship where you've lost yourself, this is your sign. It's not selfish to prioritize your dreams. It's not wrong to want more. And it's not too late to start over. You are not boring. You are not too much. You are not invisible. You are enough, exactly as you are. Thank you for listening to my story. Your comeback is always more powerful than your setback. I'll see you in the next one.